What I find terribly fascinating is how people are just very difficult in how difficult they find looking at the future and thinking about the future. Even in the next quarter, people find it very difficult to think about what's going to happen in the next quarter. I often, almost always, overestimate what I can do in a quarter and underestimate. That's the age-old saying, right? Is we we overestimate what we could do in the short term, and we completely underestimate what's going to happen in the long term. So I'm almost always very bullish on thinking about where things are actually going to go. And I tend to be far more optimistic than a lot of people, because I think that a lot of people, a lot of problems actually will get solved because of human ingenuity and just people doing great things. Um, but I'm also very realistic in the sense that, yeah, people are people and they could be, they could be jerks. Um, and they could do jerky things. So predictions are really fascinating. Even in the fact of, I remember the sort of electronic communication age, right, where people were starting to, where the internet was starting to become a thing, because I was part of it. It was at an early stage. It's still at an early stage, it's still growing and maturing. And, we've got years and years and years by the time that this becomes not a significant thing, which probably will never happen. But, it's fascinating at the beginning of it. People were so optimistic with it. They were sort of thinking that there would be all of these great changes, and there have been. Like, I think people discount the amount of wonderful changes that have resulted because of the internet. And if we were to reverse anything, like pick the thing and sort of say we're not going to do that thing, it would be horrendous. People would shout and scream, and nobody would want that thing. I know people are, they say social networks, right? Like, I don't like social networks. Find me a person today that doesn't have a social network or participate in some sort of way on a social network, whether it being on their television screen. And, here's the thing, people don't understand this. Even like using Netflix and things like that are the basic fundamentals behind social networks, where they're gathering data based on many people and sort of understanding behavior based on that. And if we don't have that, then we don't have many of the things that we think about today. And if you were to take that away, almost everybody would say, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this," right? But working with it and dealing with it, we know that it's such a pain. It causes so many problems because people are jerks. A lot of people are jerks. A lot of people are kind-hearted, nice people, but a lot of people are jerks, and they want to be jerks. That is their motive, is to be a jerk. And it's not with good intentions. It is just to be just to be a jerk. Um, and so we need to sort of recognize the challenges that we face, but at the same time, sort of think about how wonderful many of these things are. So, do I think many of the problems that we have today, climate change, I don't know, congestion, um, you know, uh, crime, various different kinds of crime, do I think that we will make a huge amount of progress in 50 to 100 years? Hell yeah. I want you to look at statistically from 50 to 100 years ago what it was like. It was a disaster in most parts of the world. It would, like, if you were to compare it, you'd be like, whoa, these are really different. And so, do I think we're going to solve a lot of these issues? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that we're going to cause a lot more problems and it's going to be a lot more complicated? and people are not going to be nice along the way, and there's going to be lots of jerkiness that happens. Oh my gosh, hells yeah. um, Absolutely. Right. So I want us to sort of think about, when you make predictions about the world and you sort of think about the world, um, think in terms of the sort of reality of how things are rather than, where you want it to go. Do I think that, energy prices are going to be dirt cheap in the future? Yeah, absolutely. But right now, as of this moment, they're not. And do I think in 10 years they're still going to be expensive? Yes, absolutely. Have they been getting cheaper decade by decade? If you were to look at long run trends, yes, they have been. So, I want everybody to understand that the process requires time, it requires patience, it requires a lot of empathy, it requires us to take a step back and, really have that sort of filter in our mind where we're thinking like, hey, let's just take a chill pill, um, but we will get there. If we take a step back, we will get there. It's not going to get there by one person yelling and screaming and doing all these kind of things. It gets there step by step by step, slowly, slowly, slowly. One person makes a little dent, somebody else makes a little dent, and if you take this sort of step by step process, a sort of reality of how things actually happen, you're much more patient. I'm much more patient. Do I think that my platform will eventually become a significant thing? Yeah, I do. Um, do I think it is right now? No. Do I think it's going to be? Yeah, in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, it'll become more significant than what it is today. How much? I don't know. But I think it's going to be pretty significant. So I'm patient, I'm slow, I'm going to allow things to happen naturally as they unfold because sometimes it just takes things time to unfold. And I encourage you to have that sort of belief that things will happen. Just take a chill pill and we will get there. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.